Hello guys, so now we shall be discussing another important topic on carotid triangle. Carotid triangle. So all of you know where is carotid triangle located? That is located in the anterior neck. So if you haven't watched a video on the anterior neck, what is a triangle of anterior triangle of the neck, so watch that video before you watch this video, okay? So only then you will understand what is this picture about. Okay, so this is your carotid triangle. Now in this carotid triangle there are three important things. So there are three important red color muscles which you can see over here. So this particular muscle which I am drawing over here, this is called as your digastric muscle. So this digastric muscle has got two bellies. So this particular belly over here is called as your posterior belly of your digastric muscle. So wherever I have written this digastric, so this is called as your posterior belly of digastric and this is called as your anterior belly of your digastric. Next, down here you have got another muscle, this is called sternocleidomastoid muscle. Okay, and this red color muscle down over here is called as your omohyoid muscle. Omohyoid muscle. Apart from this omohyoid muscle, right, first of all, what are these bones? This bone over here is called as your hyoid bone. This is called as your thyroid cartilage, and down here you have got is your cricoid. Okay, cricoid. If I am drawing a membrane that is present between cricoid and thyroid, you have to call this as cricothyroid membrane. What is this? This is called as cricothyroid membrane. This is called as cricothyroid membrane. If I am drawing a membrane between thyroid and hyoid, this is called as thyrohyoid membrane. This is called as thyrohyoid membrane. Thyrohyoid membrane. Okay, and you see there is a muscle that is attached all the way from the hyoid till the thyroid, right? So this muscle is called thyrohyoid muscle. So there is something called as thyrohyoid membrane and there is another thing called as thyrohyoid muscle. So thyrohyoid muscle. This is your thyrohyoid muscle. And finally, you see here that above your hyoid bone, you see a muscle over here beneath the tongue above your hyoid bone. This is called as hypoglossal muscle. Hypoglossal muscle. So what are the different muscles which you can see? You can see digastric muscle, you can see sternocleidomastoid muscle, you can see omohyoid muscle. So these three muscles together form the triangle. Apart from that, what are the other membranes you can see? One is a cricothyroid membrane, another one is called as a thyrohyoid membrane. Okay, so these two are the membranes over here, right? And regarding the muscles, thyrohyoid muscle is one, hypoglossal muscle is one, and remaining the other three muscles. Now let me write down what are the borders. Okay, so first of all let me write down what are the borders. How many borders do we have? For example, if I am putting a line here, this is called as a superior border of this triangle. If I am putting a line here back, this is called as a posterior side of the triangle, and if I am putting a line down, this is called as the inferior border of the triangle. Okay, so superiorly what do you have, posteriorly what do you have, and inferiorly what do you have? So look here, superiorly I have got what? Posterior belly of digastric. Superiorly I have got posterior belly of digastric. Okay. Next, posteriorly what do you have? I have got sternocleidomastoid. What sternocleidomastoid? Medial border of sternocleidomastoid muscle. Next, down here I have got omohyoid. What is this omohyoid? I told you, if you have watched my previous lecture on suprahyoid and infrahyoid muscles, there you will understand omohyoid muscle is having two bellies. Let me show it to you right now. If I have the picture, yeah, you see this? You see this green color muscle here? So this is called as your omohyoid muscle. So this omohyoid muscle is basically having two bellies. Okay, see, this is called as a superior belly, this is called as a inferior belly. So that is what I have drawn over here. So this belly which you can see over here is called as a superior belly of omohyoid. So this one over here is called as a superior belly of omohyoid muscle, superior belly of your omohyoid muscle. Okay, so this is one very important thing. Now let us look at the contents. But before we discuss the contents, this triangle which you can see right now, you see this triangle which you can see right now is your carotid triangle. Now in the floor of the carotid triangle, you can see two important muscles. Okay, so this particular muscle which you can see over here is called as the middle constrictor muscle. You know, in the pharynx we have got three constrictors: superior constrictor, middle constrictor and inferior constrictor. So this muscle over here is called as middle constrictor muscle, middle constrictor, and this muscle over here is called as inferior constrictor muscle, inferior constrictor. So one is middle constrictor, another one is inferior constrictor. Now let us discuss the arteries. Now coming to this, the first artery, why it is called carotid triangle? Because the carotid artery enters into that. So this artery which I am drawing right now, let me use another color. This artery which I am drawing right now is called as your common carotid artery. This common carotid artery will divide into external carotid and internal carotid. Okay, so this artery is dividing into two branches. See, this branch is called as the internal carotid artery and this branch is called as your external carotid artery. Okay, so what are these branches over here? This is called as ICA, this is called as ECA, external carotid and internal carotid. But one small change is that if you look at the internal carotid artery on the bottom, right, actually there is a small swelling of this internal carotid artery. This swelling of this internal carotid artery is called as carotid sinus. Okay, what is this called? This one is called as your carotid sinus. I will write it later on. Now let us look at the branches of this external carotid artery. Coming to the branches, see, this is the first branch of external carotid artery. Okay, let us name this branch as A. I will discuss later on. Let us name this branch as A. Okay, next important thing is that there is another branch that is going on to the back side, onto the occipital side. Let us name this branch as B. Okay, let us name this branch as B. Okay, next we have got another branch that is going all the way into your suprahyoid region, right? So let us name this branch as C. Okay, let us name this branch as C. The last branch, this goes all the way and enters into your thyroid cartilage. So let us name this branch as D. So how many branches we have got? We have got A, B, C as well as D. So what are these four branches? So coming to A, what is A here? A branch is called as your facial artery. A is called as what? A is called as your facial artery. After facial artery, where is B? This is B. B is going to the occipital region. So B is called as occipital artery. Occipital artery. Where is C? C is going to the tongue region because you have got your tongue over here. Okay, so C is going to the tongue region. That is why you call it as the lingual artery. You call it as the lingual artery. And next important thing, D is going to the top surface of the thyroid or the bottom of the thyroid. It is going to the top surface of the thyroid. So you call it as a superior thyroid artery. Actually, superior thyroid artery, don't think that it is supplying to the thyroid cartilage. In fact, it is supplying to the thyroid gland. Next important thing over here is that within this triangle, you also can look at a vein that is coming all the way down within this triangle. So this vein which I am drawing right now is nothing but called as your internal jugular vein. This is your internal jugular vein. Along with this internal jugular vein, you see three more important nerves that are passing down. Now you see one nerve that is passing down all the way. Now this nerve is passing above your internal carotid artery and it is passing behind the external carotid artery and then it is entering into the tongue region. Okay, so this nerve is called as a hypoglossal nerve. What is the name of this nerve? This nerve over here is called as your hypoglossal nerve. This is called as your hypoglossal nerve. After this hypoglossal nerve, look at the next nerve. Now this next nerve which I am drawing right now is your vagus nerve. Okay, so this vagus nerve is coming down all the way and it is giving one branch. This branch is called as your superior laryngeal nerve. Now this superior laryngeal nerve will give two branches. So this is one branch that is given, this is an other branch that is given. Okay, so the branch which is on the top, is called as internal laryngeal nerve. The branch which is on the bottom is called as external laryngeal nerve. So there are two laryngeal nerves, external laryngeal nerve and internal laryngeal nerve. So these are the branches of what? SLN. SLN stands for superior laryngeal nerve. Okay, next, this same vagus nerve also gives one branch that goes on to the back, and this branch is called as a pharyngeal branch. This is called as a pharyngeal branch. Pharyngeal branch. Okay, so what are the important things we have discussed over here? We have discussed two important nerves. One is called as a hypoglossal nerve, another one is called as a vagus nerve. You see, this nerve over here is called as your vagus nerve. So vagus nerve is giving two branches. One is called pharyngeal branch, another one is called as superior laryngeal nerve. Superior laryngeal nerve is dividing into internal laryngeal nerve and external laryngeal nerve. Okay. Now one last nerve over here is that this nerve passes behind like this. Okay. So the name of this nerve is your accessory nerve. This is called as your accessory nerve. Accessory nerve supplies to your sternocleidomastoid muscle. Okay. So let us write down what are the contents. Even if you don't remember the picture, these will be enough. The first important thing is your common carotid artery. Common carotid artery is dividing into internal carotid artery, external carotid artery. Branches of external carotid artery, these are the branches over here. Okay, there are many other branches. So, but these are the branches which are present within the triangle. Next, the vein you have is the internal jugular vein. Third important thing, the nerve you have is the hypoglossal nerve. Next, the nerve, another nerve is called as the vagus nerve, and finally you have got the accessory nerve. Okay, so these are the contents of the carotid triangle, guys. So thank you so much for watching my video. Goodbye.